Hey, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. This is Ebony Kiana with another episode of Sharing the Williams Experience. Before we get started as to why I recorded this video, do me a super huge favor. Subscribe, like this video, share, comment. I had to record a video because I don't know how many of you out there have experienced where you applied for a job and then they do this test where I guess it's like a psychological evaluation, right? And so they ask you a series of questions that maybe like, I think I've had somewhere from 70 to 100 and something questions. But the question, it'll ask you a question. It'll say, when people disagree with me, I get upset. And it'll say like the choices, it's usually 5, and it'll say strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree, strongly disagree. Like, and then like another question will be, I take criticism easily, strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree, strongly disagree, things like that, right? And sometimes it seems like they try to trick you up, because in one question I remember being asked was, I lose my temper easily. Strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree, strongly disagree. Then it would ask the same question again, and it would switch it up a little bit, and it'll say, I lose my temper easily. Strongly agree, neither agree nor disagree, strongly disagree. So just like a whole bunch of questions like teamwork, fast-paced work, how I react to changes in work, or how do I handle taking orders from other people and things like that, right? This was the first time I actually got the results. I've taken them, I promise, maybe, I'm 46. I've been working since 1997. And I'd probably say maybe a good 10, 15 times, maybe, within the past 26, 27 years. This is the first time I got the results back. And it says Ebony's report summary. And I wanted to record the video because I want to know how many of you out there have taken the test, but then have you ever received feedback? I never have, and it really surprised me. So what I did was I saved it to my computer, but then I also printed it out, and I wanted to share my results. To be honest, it brought a tear to my eye because I've never been evaluated. I'm glad to say that, I guess, I don't know, but compared to the majority of people in the world, I guess I'm fairly mentally stable. I do have my crazy moments, but I mean, I'm a nurse. My nurse is in good standing. I'm not a criminal. I don't have a record. Never abused anyone, mistreated anyone, anything like that. And so, I can pass a background check. I can pass a fingerprinting background check, both federal and state. So that's one thing. But I have never been evaluated. Another thing I've never done is I've never had those blotch tests. And, like the psychologist will say, when I show you these series of pictures, tell me the first thing that pops up in your mind. I've never had that done either. I've taken care of patients that have had it done before. I've taken a psychology class or two, even when I went to school for medical assisting, and then as a nurse, but I've never been evaluated and got the results back. So it did bring a tear to my eye. I'm going to be completely honest. And it was just like, you get feedback because, if you get into it with your baby daddy, or you get into it with your homegirl or your homeboy, if there's any guys watching this, you expect somebody to say something not so nice when you're arguing, right? Because it's coming from a place of just negativity. But when we're good, it's all peaches and cream. As soon as you cop an attitude with me or there's a little bit of friction, then you want to start talking crazy. So when people say things like, if I've ever gotten into it with one of my homegirls, or me and my kid's dad got into it or whatever, and I'll just say even a few times me and my husband have had some friction, whatever is said, it's mean. So it's like, but then as soon as we're cool, it's all good, right? So in my opinion, I don't trust it, because I know you being sour right now, you moist, you in your feelings. So of course you're going to say something mean and try to hurt my feelings. But this right here was like, kind of like from a neutral ground. So I'm going to read these results. I don't know what it means. I don't think they're bad. But if you happen to be watching this video and you've taken one of these, this is Ebony's Workplace Insights. I'm going to read the information. But if you are familiar with this, please tell me in the comments below what it is. I want to know if there's hope for me. All right, so we're going to get started. And it's not a lot. There's like pictures and graphs that's on here, but I'm going to read it. Oh my God, what happened to my camera? Like, why did it get like super duper dark? Hold on. Oh, no, that's too bright. I guess I didn't like my paper being in the way. My bad. Again, I'm new to this, so don't hold it against me. All right, so it says, this was taken today, September 26, 2024. Welcome to your Workplace Insights report. You were asked to take assessments powered by Criteria Corp, and this report provides an overview of your personalized results. All of your responses were combined to create a unique profile for you. Within the report, it is important to know that there is no good or bad qualities. The results are designed to help you heighten your self-awareness and to understand how to relate better to others in the workplace. So Ebony's report summary. So it has attributes and outlook, work habits, temperament, and interaction style. And then the words that are going around this circle, it says achievement, motivation, conscientiousness, assertiveness, extroversion, cooperativeness, competitiveness, patience, self-confidence, openness, achievements. I don't know if I said that. I don't think I said achievements, right? Okay, so they've got the attributes and outlook, work habits, temperament, and interaction style. So the notable traits, it says you can be described as, so it's about to describe me. You can be described as moderately assertive, generally comfortable either taking the lead or following others in work settings. Competitive. Innate drive to win, measures performance in comparison to others. Ambiverted. Neither introverted or extroverted, generally comfortable in social situations. Moderate openness to experience. It says often conventional but open to variety and exploration. And then the back of it says work communication and interaction style. Moderately assertive. It says you are moderately assertive. You can be forceful on occasion, but will also be comfortable taking the lead from others in many work situations. Your coworkers will probably notice that when moderately assertive individuals like you express yourselves directly, it most likely means you genuinely feel strongly about a subject. Then the next one is ambiverted. So I guess like it breaks down these 4 points on here. Ambiverted. For ambiverted, it says, like most people, you are an ambivert, meaning you fall somewhere in the middle of the extroversion introversion continuum. Ambiverts tend to be comfortable with social interactions and working in group settings, but also enjoy time alone or working on solitary tasks. You may be sociable and outgoing with friends or family, and might be more reserved with strangers or when meeting people for the first time. Then it says temperament, attitudes, and outlook. The next one is competitive. You are competitive by nature, valuing competition, and are inclined to place a high value on winning or surpassing standards of achievement set by others. In work settings, competitive individuals often excel in fields such as sales. I'm going to stop here. This part here says in work settings, competitive individuals often excel in fields such as sales. I will say I'm a nurse entrepreneur. I've been a nurse almost 11 years. January 2025 will be 11 years. I am now into digital marketing. And I also have a mobile DNA business that I am starting from the ground up here in San Antonio, Texas, and the surrounding areas, right? And on top of that, I want to do fingerprinting. I want to do mobile background checks, hair follicle drug testing, non-invasive genetic testing for pregnant moms, and then also the paternity test. If there's a question of, potential father or fathers, drawing the mom's blood and then swabbing the father. So marketing, and then me having this recent desire to use social media and actually record, that really spoke volumes to me. I've been on just recently, a couple of months ago, I went on a job interview, and it was for nursing, right? A nursing position. And the lady that was interviewing me, just from talking to me, she says, "Have you ever thought about going into marketing?" And I was like, well, marketing is a part of, my digital business, my online digital space, and things that I'm learning. If you don't tell people about your business, if you don't let them know what services you are able to offer, then how do you expect to be successful? So she was like, we do have a marketing department, and a lot of the nurses are good in that position. So I'm going to go ahead and refer you for that. So that was kind of weird. And then to have this pop up where it says that in work settings, competitive individuals often excel in fields such as sales. Like, I just thought that was, because having a business, if you don't get sales, you don't get money, right? So I just thought that was pretty cool. Then it says moderate openness to experience. The openness to experience trait measures the extent in which you favor experimentation and exploring new concepts, as opposed to being down to earth, conventional, and favoring the familiar over the novel. You scored in the middle of the range of this trait, suggesting that while not averse to experimenting or exploring novel areas, you may generally prefer conventional approaches and routines. Touche. And then it says strengths and potential challenges. Now, this is what I was kind of like a little bit. Make sure I'm reading these papers in order. Yeah, I'm on page 3. Now, I will say one half, the strengths, is longer than the potential challenges. So strengths and potential challenges. The strengths, I have 4 things listed. Potential challenges, it's only 1. So that's good. It's like, okay, all right. I was getting a little sensitive because I'm like, y'all don't know me. So all I did was I just answered a bunch of questions, and this is the printout from the computer. Excuse me. So strengths, it says, your competitive nature and will to win are well suited to roles, example given, sales, where clear, measurable, and transparent performance metrics are valued, neither consistently assertive nor overly differential. You will be assertive in some situations and not in others. Ambiverts like you tend to be flexible enough to have potential suitability for a variety of roles, including those that emphasize social interactions and those that do not. You are likely to display an effective balance of patience and impatience in pursuing opportunities or navigating frustrations with work-related tasks or projects. Now, the potential challenges, it's only one, but it says in team settings, competitiveness has the potential to create conflict if it is not channeled or managed effectively. Now, I don't know if those was kind of like safe answers, but I think if they wanted to tear me a new one, and if they really wanted to check me, they would have. So I don't think that's too bad, but I really appreciated that. But then like the development suggestions, now for it broke it down into 3 areas: temperament, interaction, style, attitudes, and outlook. So for the temperament, it says competitive by nature, you should look for win-win relationships. The most successful people are often those who are effective at building relationships of mutual value. Be aware and considerate of others' needs when interacting with them, and focus on helping others achieve their objectives. Persisting is an important characteristic in the accomplishment of tasks and deliverables. However, there may be times when trying a different approach is more beneficial than just trying harder in the same direction. Knowing when to step back and assess the effectiveness of one's approach, and being open to persisting in a new direction, can meaningfully contribute to accomplishing your objectives. I think that's kind of a lot for me to absorb at almost 9 o'clock at night, after I had a long day of being in orientation. But I'm going to revisit this tomorrow, but we're just going to go with it for now. Attitudes and outlook. Knowing when to take a creative approach is important to accomplishing goals. However, there are also times when using tried and true methods are best for getting things done. The balance is in understanding the situation at hand, quickly learning the relevant history of what has already been attempted, and capitalizing on the more effective strategy. And so the interaction style, it says some interactions call for a more direct approach, whereas others may require a gentle touch. When engaging with others, you should make sure to consider the situation, the people involved, and the context to help you determine the level of directness that is warranted. Effective performance is often a combination of getting things done and interacting well with others. There are times when remaining focused on getting work done is the best approach, and times when spending more time engaging with others is beneficial. It may benefit you to take a moment to consider the right balance for a particular job and where you may need to rebalance. Now, I don't know. I mean, if they're saying that I'm a good worker, I mean, I don't know. Then this last page is workplace stressors and motivators. I really didn't understand this. I'm assuming there's just like a printout assessment. The following section relates common workplace situations to your behavioral preferences to better understand how your potential may be realized. Situations that may be comfortable or motivating for some people may be stressful or demotivating for others. Below is a list of common workplace situations together with an indicator of how much of how each impact you. But then it says working. Ay, adios, Ebony, read what's there. Having to work alone. So it has 2, 4, 6, 8 things listed, right? And then there's a scale. And it's from not at all comfortable, somewhat comfortable, extremely comfortable. So remember in the beginning when I was saying like it'll ask you questions, and I probably maybe answered at least 50 questions. It may have been more, but it had 5 choices. Well, this just broke it down into not at all comfortable, somewhat comfortable, extremely comfortable. And the check mark is in the middle, all the way down under somewhat comfortable. So having to work alone, somewhat comfortable. Open discussions, rigid enforcement of rules, change in workplace expectations or job duties, a narrowly defined role, having clear and well articulated goals, being exposed to frequent conflict, and taking the lead in group settings, all somewhat comfortable. So I don't know if that's good or bad. Hopefully, this video will get views and I can get some feedback to anyone that has experience in this, because I'm completely lost. So hopefully I'll hear back from this. The doctor is into sports medicine, and so he needs a nurse, and it's kind of like a travel around the city position. I think, like, I don't know how many different areas, but I don't know. So I thought that was cool to have a feedback, because I've never received feedback before. And so that kind of like threw me. And it was like a pleasant surprise, I'm gonna be honest. So I've got this. I'm about to put this night mask on my lips because I'm too lazy to get up to go and get my chapstick. And so, ooh, Lord have mercy. It's going closer to the light. Stay away from the light, not go to it. So this is Spoiled Child's lip mask. And it smells so good. My dog will probably get up because she, they got good senses of smell. And so she'll probably get up and want to sniff me. But I absolutely, and this top is hard to get off. And I'm being lazy. Like, I'm holding my camera with one hand. But actually, like, licking my lips, it's like dry, and it was just like, Ebony, stop. So you guys are going to be seeing more of me. I have had this YouTube page, I think, since like maybe 2015, but I only used it for searching for videos and then also following people. So I just decided to start uploading videos and like transferring some videos from my Facebook here to my YouTube page, because I want to grow my audience. I have no idea how to get views. I just randomly like search things. So I don't know if, excuse me, I haven't had much to eat today. I don't know if I should keywords in the title. I don't know. But I think just like recording and talking and sharing whatever it is that I'm doing. I wish I would have thought of this sooner, but there's no better time than the present, right? So this is my desire. And I pray that I am successful. I'm working on like money affirmations and speaking positivity and being positive and being encouraging within my life outside of work, because clocking in and taking care of patients is one thing, but anything outside of that is completely different. I don't want to be repetitive, but if someone is happening to like watch a video of mine for the first time, I want you to know that I am a nurse. That's the majority of my life. Like, there's, nothing else really too much that I've done except for recently, right? So the entrepreneurial side of me is something that has just started growing. My mom moved to Texas in 2011, and I moved to Texas in 2012, August of 2012. And so now I've been here, 12 years? My mother sadly passed away March 3rd, 2022, of end-stage renal disease. And I've changed. I am not the same woman I was before my mom died. My mother was my everything. And I don't want to talk about it too much and start getting emotional, but it's her birthday just passed. And we don't celebrate the holidays, but we valued every day. We did not focus on what the calendar said about, a birthday or Christmas or New Year's or 4th of July or whatever it is. We valued and cherished each day with each other. And I'm so glad for that, because it's it's harder because it's more than just, oh, her born day passing, or my birthday passing, or the calendar's going on, and now have her date of death marked down. It's just, there's every day I miss her. And so every day it's hard, but it is getting a little bit easier. I am able to smile more and laugh more. And I think about when my grandmother died in March of, which is crazy. My grandmother died March of 2012, and then my mom died March of 2022. So I think back to my mom, and I'm like, man, now I know how she felt when she lost her mother, because we was close. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and we were close. Me and my mom and my sister lived on the third floor. My aunt and my uncle and my three cousins had the second and the first floor, and we was in a 3-story, 2-family brick. And my grandmother lived a few blocks away. We had cousins and family members that would walk through, be going on walks and stuff like that, and end up swinging through. So we was always close, and it's an adjustment. With me adjusting to life without my mom, I have found that my brain has changed. I've had a chemical change up here. My name is Ebony, and now I'm going by Ebony Kiana, which Kiana is my middle name. Like my mom would say, Ebony Kiana, if I did something I had no business. So it's like, but I never referred to myself. Like if I would be playing around, with my significant other or whatever, I would say, like Kiana is my other, personality or whatever. That wasn't me. That wasn't Ebony. That was Kiana. You got to see Kiana, but now I'm referring to myself as Ebony Kiana. And it's crazy, even with the wild hair at my butt, to be an entrepreneur. And, I have things that I want to do. I've been married February 3rd, which is my youngest son's birthday. Coincidentally, it wasn't planned to get, married or tie the knot on my youngest son's birthday. It just happened that way. But on February 3rd, my youngest son will be 26, and then me and Cedric will have been married 8 years, together 10. And it's so much in life that I can remember talking to my mom about, and having this assessment of my personality, I guess in business form or in workplace form, has really helped me get like a boost of confidence as far as the things that has been popping up in my heart and on my mind to do, things that I can't just ignore. I've wanted to get into digital marketing and the opportunities, the business opportunities that provide, being having this Priority Mobile DNA testing. It's nurse owned and operated, and I look forward to growing. I don't want to work to death, you know what I mean, because I want to enjoy time, but all of my kids are grown. I am a grandmother. I have 3 grandkids. But it's like things in life that my mom and I talked about doing, and we didn't get a chance to do because her health took a turn for the worse, and then COVID, and and then she died before my daughter could give her the kidney transplant. They could perform that in Houston. And so it's a lot of adjustments, but I don't want to leave this earth without accomplishing some of the things that we talked about. And so I'm going to use my YouTube page to share my thoughts, what's on my heart, what's on my mind, things that my husband and I are doing, even getting my daughter in on it. I want to live an RV life. I want to be able to travel the world, and I want to vlog, and I want to be able to capture, you know, the different sites. I want to visit the national parks. I want to go to the West Coast, and I want to see the mountains. I want to, we was planning to move to the Bahamas, and, I've never owned a passport, so I have to get me a passport. And I said, I want to do those things. I want to get a Brazilian butt lift and lipo 360, and I want to get my teeth done, and I want to be able to be comfortable talking on camera, and I want to use my nursing career honestly to help people. Me and two of my homegirls, we have our podcast. It's called Sporadic Flow Podcast, Nurses Empowering the Community. We record every Wednesday, and we have probably about almost 20 episodes recorded. We just recently, like the last 3 episodes, we've created an after dark edition of Sporadic Flow. So the main part of the podcast, the Sporadic Flow podcast, we have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube page. Like, subscribe, comment, share, engage. We have a Facebook page. We're uploaded to all of the streaming platforms for podcasts, so Pandora, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, things like that. And we've talked about, like the first episode, we introduced ourselves. We talked about our nursing careers, why we chose nursing, where we are, what we see for our futures. We've talked about prostate cancer. We've talked about toxic shock syndrome. We've talked about feminine hygiene. We've talked about hormone replacements. One of my homegirls had... she almost died. She had a very traumatic experience with botched surgery. And so she shared her story. Her husband came on for another episode, and he shared it from his perspective. We did an episode on vertigo and tinnitus that tied in together. We just did the prostate cancer. September is Suicide Awareness Month. So today is Thursday. So yesterday's episode that we recorded was talking about suicide awareness. And at the end of the video, we have resources. There's a global number that you can text, and we was educating, people on the outside, like family and friends, knowing what signs and symptoms to look out for, what things to listen for. Encouraging men and women to come forward if you are dealing with depression and battling these inner demons, because life be lifing. Life be kicking butts, and it does so much. And we want to encourage people to don't be ashamed to speak out. And I'm telling myself, like, you know what? Don't be afraid to share your life, because there's so many people on YouTube that are successful, that talk. And if you are watching my video and you've thought about it, we can do it together. We can be besties. We could be cousins. We can be sisters. We just can't be lovers. We can be business partners. We can be travel buddies. I'm planning on having a BBL. If you are planning on having a BBL, and I'm scheduled for November 11th, so if I can get the rest of this money up, homegirl is going to be in Cali, Colombia, getting sniggity snatched. And I'll talk about that because, yes, I am a nurse. I am educated. I've been researching this since 2018, and I've had several doctors do several vets and all of this stuff on the surgeons and why it's been so long. Life was life, and then things was happening, but I'm ready to really take care of me and share my life. And I want to encourage you to do the same. With our podcast, we're able to do that. And now we've got Sporadic Flow After Dark. So what's that about? The Sporadic Flow After Dark is the juice. So Sporadic Flow Podcast is mainly, us talking about what we want to talk about, but mainly medical. After Dark, we've had 3 episodes so far. The first episode, we talked about Kanye West. I don't know if anyone knows, if anyone's heard or followed on followed up on Kanye's trials and tribulations. One of his fetishes or one of his interests is whippets. If you're not familiar with whippets, whippets is laughing gas, nitrous oxide. So usually, like if you're going to have a procedure done, if you're going to, mainly at the dentist, they will give you that gas to inhale, and it's supposed to make you laugh. I've had it once. It did not make me laugh, and actually I was quite upset because I wanted to be giggling and goofy. But he's addicted to that, and allegedly he's been addicted to whippets. I want to say since 2018 he's been doing it. And so how much money he spends, and the dentist that he paid to have him be his neighbor, and how much he was paying him a year. I know a tank of the nitrous oxide is like 9 G's. So that was the first episode. Then the second episode, we was talking about Wendy Williams and her diagnosis with the aphasic dementia, the frontal, I think it's the frontal aphasic dysphagia and dementia, and she also has lymphedema. So we was talking about that. Yeah, the aphasic dementia. And then and actually, what's his nuts? Bruce Willis has the same thing. And then the third episode we did last week, and it was about Puff Daddy. Did he do it? So, yeah, like, and then we're gonna do a follow up on Kanye, follow up on Wendy, definitely multiple episodes on Diddy, because it's so much that's transpiring just from his poop hitting the fan and going through the fan and spraying everywhere, and so like other things. And then also I forgot to give a shout out when we recorded yesterday. We've had 3 deaths as far as like in the celebrity community. We had Frankie Beverly passed away. We had James Earl Jones and Tito Jackson. And when I heard about Tito Jackson passed away, the first thing that I heard in my mind was, what's his name? Chris Tucker saying, "Slow down, Tito, damn." But yeah, like he had a heart attack behind the wheel. So we're going to delve into that, see what information we can find out about that. Because I think Michael Jackson and his dad, like Michael Jackson died in 2009 and Joe Jackson died in 2019. So that's 10 years. And then Tito, 5 years. Tito died 5 years after his dad. So it was 10 and then 5. I don't know. I ain't, sometimes patterns slap you in the face, but I don't know. And that's the second Jackson to die. Well, child of the brothers out of the Jackson 5 to die. Not including the father. But yeah, so I meant to, mention that. So our next episode, I'm going to have to talk about that. Because, yeah, there's so many songs by Earth, Wind, and Fire. No, that's not Frankie Beverly. It's Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. After the Morning After is like one of my favorite songs. I don't know why I say Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I don't think Frankie Beverly was with... No, he's with Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. I'm bugging. It's been a long day. I'm going to have to take another sip of my sauce over here. But yeah, so it's a lot of things that I want to do. And so I hope that the internet, I hope that YouTube loves my vibe. My page I'm revamping. I already changed my profile picture and put up a background picture, and I'm going to be learning how to do certain things because I want my page to be presentable, but I want it to be a reflection of myself and what I want to accomplish. So I don't want this video to be too long. I don't even know how long it's been because I got my ring light clipped to my phone, but I'm going to upload this, and I hope that I start to get more feedback. I know the more I get comfortable, the more I'm going to let myself, shine through. So yes, I'm a nurse entrepreneur. I've been in the medical field since 1997. It's the only job that I've ever had until recently. December, I started doing research on digital marketing, and I am licensed to sell life insurance. I have my own mobile DNA business called Priority Mobile DNA here in San Antonio, Texas. The number is 210-370-7751. Working on some things, working on getting my notary. I want to be able to do background checks, mobile background checks. I might throw some spray tan in there too, because I know there's people here that likes to do spray tan. But be able to help create jobs for phlebotomists and nurses that want to move away from traditional nursing, but then also want to supplement their income. I want to start traveling and vlogging. Prayerfully, I'll get my money up and I'll be able to have my surgery November 11th, 2024 in Cali, Colombia. I'm scheduled to have a lipo 360 and a Brazilian butt lift, and then also get my teeth done while I'm there. So I want, I'm ready to live a different lifestyle than I've been living. I am going on 3 years without my mother. My father is still alive in Brooklyn, New York. He lives in Flatbush, but I was a mother's girl. My mom was my heart, my soul, and actually I was just like crying the other day, like I miss my mom, like God, I do. And then also I'm writing a book. It's called A Daughter's Perspective, Life with and Without My Mom, touching on intimate thoughts through the summing up of my life's experiences, journey, and beyond. Touching on being a teenage mom. So since the age of 14, really, because I got pregnant when I was 14, I've had to think of someone other than myself. And so I guess that's ties into being a nurse, thinking of others. And now that I'm 46 and my kids are grown, they're 25, 26, and 31. And, I'm married now. I've, had some things like I'll be recording videos and just sharing thoughts to help with grieving, things that have helped me along my journey to, not having my mom, Barbara Jean. Anybody, that ends up watching this video that knows us from Brooklyn. We've lived in Ohio and now we're here in Texas. Barbara Jean was so dope. Like my mom was so dope. God, I miss her so much. And just the changes going through life. I had my first kid when I was 15, my second when I was 20, and my third when I was 21. I did drop out of high school my senior year, but I got my GED, and then immediately enrolled into college, went for 2 years, got my associate's degree, and I've been working since 1997, solid. And now, I was a medical assistant for 17 years. I worked in the laboratory, Good Samaritan Hospital in Dayton, Ohio. That's torn down now. So I'm going to have to record a video because I can't believe they tore that hospital down. Like, oh my God. I was there for 5.5 years in the laboratory. I was a diagnostic tech. I drew blood, did EKGs, specimen processing, microbiology. Like, we used to run all up and through that hospital. I'm going to have to record some videos on some thoughts. Like, I wish I would have been recording because it's a Catholic, well, it was a Catholic hospital, and they had one unit called the Madonna, the Madonna ward, and that's where the nuns used to live back in the day, right? And so parts of the hospital was closed off, and me and some of the girls that worked in the lab, we, in between like having to draw blood, we wore beepers. So we knew, we would get beeped if we, had work to do. But we would go sneaking around the hospital, and they would say like parts of the hospital was haunted. And we used to have, oh my God, we used to have so much fun running all up and through that hospital. Oh my God. And they tore it down. Like, oh my goodness. All 3 of my kids was born there. I think the only thing that's left now is a garage, but then like they I don't know if it's like a youth center now. They did something to it, but it's not the hospital it was when I moved out of Ohio. So we left Brooklyn, moved to Ohio, left Ohio, moved to Texas. And yeah, like I have had a lot of experience as a medical assistant, worked at Planned Parenthood. I worked for a urologist group, family practice, and then 10 years I was a medical assistant for 2 heart and lung surgeons. And then moved to Texas and went to nursing school, and I've done long-term care, which is your traditional nursing home. I've done SNF, which is a skilled nursing facility. I've done LTAC, which is long-term acute care. I've worked med surge. A lot of my patients was on trachs, ventilators, especially it came in handy during COVID because patients was on a ventilator and they were face down. Like I'd never seen anybody in prone position. That was crazy. And then, patients with wound vacs. I've done freestanding ER. I've done private duty, done home health. During the pandemic, after, because I just have to dive into the things that, besides me all of a sudden getting pregnant twice in 2021. The second time in 2021, I got pregnant about the blue. Ended up being pregnant in my tube at 8 weeks. The tube ruptured. I had to be rushed into the OR. I don't accept blood. So, it's like, you're going to do the surgery, save me, but don't give me any blood products. So that means you need to be on your P's and Q's. Then we did IVF, and we had the eggs transferred on March 3rd, 2022, and then my mom died March 8th, 2022, and then I ended up miscarrying, and then boop, I was really done with kids. So I've had to put my BBL off several times because Dr. Bass had a massive heart attack in 2020. March of 2020, my husband was almost killed in a motorcycle accident. March 24th, 2020, COVID shut everything down. And then I was pregnant in 2021. I had rescheduled and was going to go to Beverly Hills, California. Now it's scheduled in Cali, Colombia. So it's been so much. And then right after, before I miscarried in November 2021, my nephew was murdered in Dayton, Ohio, and he was 21, about to be 22. So he got killed March 7th. I miscarried March. His birthday is March 7th. He got killed November 7th, 2021. I miscarried, I think, November 21st or November 24th, 2021. Then my mom died March 8th, 2022. So it's been so much, but I'm going to put all of that in my book, and just how my life has changed and helped me grow and develop into the person that I am today, the values and morals and principles my mom instilled in me, her, Christian beliefs, her Bible beliefs, Bible-based, and, just me growing up and doing what I was wanting to, sneaky and stuff like that. Things didn't really make sense or touch my heart until later on in life, but I'm glad it did. And just this entrepreneurial spirit that I have, and wanting to be, I'll be 47 October 9th. So it's like you know what I mean? Like, it's just this whole different vibe of myself, and this different headspace, a different heart, condition, and just what I see for myself, and wanting to expand on my nursing career, the things that I want to do for my family, and making better use of our time and living life, and really continuing to pay attention, but then also paying attention to others. So my life, the podcast, my businesses, this book, everything ties in together, and I'm going to be sharing that on YouTube. And I hope and pray that my audience grows and I get the positive feedback, and You know, I'm able to help people either cope with stress or health and wellness, detoxing, dealing with grief and caregiver burnout and, you know, caregiver fatigue, and just changing your whole trajectory of your life and your road and what you want for yourself, and, you know, just really trying to preserve your well-being and your quality of life, living in a world where things is just decaying and breaking apart and falling apart, and just, you know, it's just so much that, you know, I want to be able to share. And these are things that I've done in the workspace, but to be able to share it with the world. So I know it's coming together. It is, absolutely it is. But this YouTube is a whole different vibe. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. So remember, do me a super duper huge favor. We're going to subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy Wednesday. No, Thursday.